it's a selfish sport, you know? But people that climb a long time realize that it's not just about you, it's just about the whole thing.
When I think about the soul of climbing, it's for everybody.
Oh man, that's a hard question. I think if you've been rock climbing so long, that's like somebody asking you to lose your identity.
You couldn't get me to stop climbing. The thing that kept pulling me back in every single time was just the freedom of it all. I have found the climbing community to be the most inviting and vibrant people.
It's just like such a big part of my life. Like, to stop, that's like redoing everything. I'd probably become like a completely different person.
My life without climbing would be pretty depressing. I say that honestly too, but I know that climbing's gonna be something solid in my life that's always gonna be there when I need it.
考えられないというか考えたこともないに対してこうちょっと引っ込み思案になる部分はあるけども、本当にやめようと思う瞬間一瞬たりともない。僕にとってクライミングっていうのはそういうものです。
I can't imagine. I don't want to even imagine. Without climbing? What is life without climbing?
It's a selfish sport, you know? It's like kind of all about you, but in the same token, people that climb a long time realize that it's not just about you, it's just about like the whole thing, you know? Hopefully it doesn't change. It's changing.
Ready to go to see Avalonia now?
Have we not been seeing it?
No. That is beginning. No.
This is just the beginning.
This is just beginning. You haven't seen anything. You haven't seen anything. That is Avalonia, a land art project where I tried to make paths and terraces that after one time it's built, there's no erosion anymore and you can let in climbers. Here they can learn about nature. What it is and what it means, what it gives to you. For us, it's a magical place. You will feel it. So that is my stone sculpture place. I'm working on these memory stones. You know this problem we have. If somebody die, what can we do? We love our sport. We want to be in the mountains. Yeah? An avalanche came or whatever. It can happen. And so I think it's important that we care about our rock lovers. And so I have placed everywhere memory stones, and I like this vision. Having, it is not an answer we talk, but it is a symbol that we are also thinking of our legions. That is, yeah, go for it. That's a beautiful boulder. You try it again?
Yes. Show me where the cracks in it.
Yeah.
Have to pay attention for it.
Yes. I go normally here, yeah, then here. That is just for this beginning, just to make it easier. And now here, I have to leave.
Okay.
It is my hair, my blue hair. I put it down, and yeah.
Come on, try hard. Breathe. Come on. So we really have fun here.
Have I try again? No, huh?
I think climbing these days has very much people starting with competition climbing, but here it's totally different. Here it's about nature, it is about art. It's difficult to figure out what he wants to tell you, because sometimes he's speaking in myths. He's a teacher in climbing, a special teacher. It's not about hangboard and getting your muscles big or something like that. It's about, yes, having fun and be a human being right here. He's the shit, man. He's the shit.
I go in. I make no fire! Everything is connected to climbing in my life. Without climbing, we don't exist.
Alright, are you guys, Joe, you want to do the slab?
Sure. How are you gonna just get served by your mom and not even respond?
Come here, I'm still bigger than you.
No, you're not.
my chuck. My name is Zoe, and I'm 19 years old. When I was born, my dad would take me to Little Conwood Canyon in my car seat. I'd just watch him climb, and then I just remember going to the crag ever since I was little. Most of my childhood, my dad would try to make what he loved part of me, and I'd fight him a little bit on it.
I'm gonna try it once, just once. Stand right here. Save your energy for climbing. We moved here to Utah in the early 80s. I am a father of 2, husband of my wife Melissa, and I provide for my family by cleaning windows. When you have children, you think about life differently. I've tried to instill in my children, without being preachy, but an ethic and a ownership of the outdoors. And they'll even call me out. Almost.
You didn't really commit all the way. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
My name's Noah Keesley. I'm 14 and we're in my bedroom right now. I usually just climb with family. Some people just think it's kind of lame, but it was awesome. I gotta go climbing with them. I gotta spend the whole day with them. They checked me out of school for it, so.
You must get into it from some time.
Well, yeah, definitely, for sure.
My window cleaning hands are so soft.
But, I always just think they're out here for us. They did all this. They sacrificed a lot of their climbing for us, so, yeah.
We still receive a lot of criticism from people about our kids being climbers.
Climbing has, it's helped me to have great kids. It's helped us to be a good family, to get along, and even if there's problems, we have this thing we come back to.
When I was younger, there came a point where I made it my own and I loved it for what it was, and I kind of realized it was going to be something I cherished my entire life.
It's painfully obvious to see how much climbing has grown, but as a community, I think there's ways to try to stay ahead of that, or at least keep pace with that growth.
I'm really excited to see what this future generation of climbers are gonna do, you know? I say that and I am the future generation.
All right, guys, this is Miguel's Pizza. This is the family business. Over the years, this place has kind of become famous, I guess. I don't know if it's the bright colors and the goofy face, but it's been my home since I was born. I was raised here by rock climbers. Miguel's is a rock climbing destination, a restaurant, a home for many, and we've been doing it for 35 years. It used to be so small that if you weren't parked in the front of Miguel's, you didn't climb at the Red River Gorge. It was just, that was that. So you literally met everyone that ever came here. It made this community that was just ungodly strong, because it was just year after year of everyone knowing everyone. The community, it's changed almost a drastic level from when I was a little kid. It was full of these misfit kind of climbers that were drawn to the area because it wasn't restricted.
What do you mean? What are you comment on what?
On what they're doing.
What they're doing? It's dangerous.
Obviously with growth, there's always like a side effect, right? People kind of lose touch of like how small it really is and how special it is. I still think it's strong here.
We wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for like hundreds of rock climbers coming here and working for us every year.
There's a lot of people that really still just embrace rock climbing for more than how hard they climb. Maybe that's going away, I don't know. Or maybe we're losing that.
This year, I just found myself kind of needing a project. I've been on the road all year and I needed a little stability. And I thought about the T-Wall Triple Crown, which is 3 512C roof cracks. I had done one of the hardest already, and I came down to try Celestial Mechanics and Hands Across America. I really want to be the first woman who does all three. My name is Kathy Carlo, and I'm 33. I produce a podcast called For the Love of Climbing. While some of these stories are about climbing, they are more about deeper societal issues. And we should be having these conversations within the climbing community. When I'm not working, I'm usually out rock climbing. This is Celestial Mechanics. It is an off-width and one of the 3 512C roof cracks of the Tennessee Wall. An off-width is a crack that you have to put your whole body inside of. Okay, that's it. But your body won't fit inside of it. So you have to use parts of your body instead, and you move like usually an inch at a time. There you go, that's a rest. Some people like to describe an off-width as like a uncomfortable and claustrophobic feeling that comes along with it, right? And I think it's really intimate. Sometimes textured. The fact that another woman hasn't done the Triple Crown, it was surprising to me because there's so many strong women who live in Chattanooga and climb here. And I don't know, I think the cool thing about doing one seemingly impossible or hard thing is that it kind of just makes it seem a lot more possible for everyone else. I haven't been in one place for longer than a month all year, so being here for 3 months, like, it already feels good to know that I've got not unlimited time, but a decent amount of time to really kind of, yeah, lay my shit out and deal with it.
僕は、ここに引っ越してきて11年経ちました。それまではもうちょっと町に住んでいてこっちに引っ越してきて、クライミング中心の生活に、シフトしました。私の名前は横山勝孝と言います。みんな僕のことはジャンボって言います。なぜなら日本人の中では僕は大きいから。 僕が8歳の時にですね、山の雑誌をパラパラと何の気なしに見てたら、そこに、北アルプスという場所がありますけども、そこの雪を抱いた山の稜線を、2人の山男が歩いていくと、写真が載ってたんですね。で夕日を浴びたその稜線、白い稜線がですね、すごくかっこいいな、綺麗だなって思ったのが第一。こういうような人になってみたい、こういうところに行ってみたい。今思えば怖いなここって思うようなところも平気で行ってたかもしれないですね。当然山でリスクはいっぱいある。それをできるだけ軽減して危険な目に遭わないように、これからも続けていくし、家族でその喜びを共有できたらいいなというふうに思ってます。
So I'm living there, you see?
Yeah, it's like a castle. Like a medieval castle.
Come in.
I'm building a tiny house, but it's secret. You don't tell it to anybody, yeah? So, total secret. Excuse me. So it is, I will show you. You can put it in the film. I spent my winter in a cave, and for this moment, because I'm not living now in the cave, but in the winter maybe again, then we take this with us, because the candles are making my cave very beautiful. Show you a little bit how it works. This is the original there, it's important. There are the books. It's a big, huge palace. Yeah? Much rooms, much floors. And now we are on the big garden terrace in front of the huge studio. You say studio? The people want to climb, want to go bouldering in Avalonia, and so I make topos. And each summer I make a new topo. First I go up. I have to make first the terrace and all this. But then I create boulders. And then I draw these boulders. And on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, I sell my books in the area. People coming to Avalonia from everywhere and buying my books, the topos.
Why do you base your covers off of the children's books?
Because we are children when we go bouldering. I think that is what's important about bouldering, that we teach the adults being childs again. I tried once. 1 week. 1 week I tried to be adult. After 1 week I had enough. I decided no, adult no, nothing for me.
Gets down. Cross into a decent hold. Kind of a good hold. Yeah, and then jug. Not many millennials are raised in the climbing community, so I've seen the difference climbing outside when I was younger and climbing outside now, and I've seen the traffic, the kind of boom of climbing. It's good, but it's also kind of scary because they're not educated. I think it's also kind of a responsibility that falls on us to educate those new climbers. I think a lot of people become passive aggressive when they see new climbers outside. I've seen it with older climbers, like, oh, Gumbies. But I mean, they're gonna be Gumbies if you're not doing anything to teach them otherwise. Being in the medical field and working at a hospital, I've seen climbing accidents. I had patients who were hurt climbing because they were uneducated. So I've come up with a presentation to do at the gyms, REI, whoever will host it. It's a lesson on the etiquette you'd want to have when you're outside. This is just for my love of climbing and wanting people to love it too and to do it safely.
Most people think Miguel's dead.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you'll hear it all the time. They're like, yeah, he died years ago, or does he even work here? And he's like making the dough. You making bread? Yeah, I'm making bread. You wanna come in here? Can these guys come in here? And this is my paw right here. He's the backbone of the business.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. So many people go into business and they like draw up business plans. You have all these people that think how a business is run and they got it all like sussed out. This has all just been holding on for the ride and figuring out as we go.
Climber said, "Can you make us something to eat?" And my wife said, "I think I've made pizza before. Let's try that." So we did. I knew how to bake bread, so we started making pizza, and that's how it started. I mean, it was nothing. Everything evolves, you know, it's like, and then we kind of grew up with the climbers as, you know, we grew up with them. They grew, you know, it was just...
Big family, really.
Yeah, it was a family. I miss those guys back from the 80s and 90s.
Golden age, this place for sure.
It was a good time. I really had a good time with them. I miss it sometimes. Now that I'm 67, I miss that. I was 26 and...
No ice cream, baby.
Oh, it was
They don't
fun.
have any. Not till next year.
That's what this place is about, really, is they're coming here, they're taking a break from their lives, and they can grow, basically, you know, get a little bit more mature, to get a little bit of experience in their lives. And it's really good, you know, some of them have issues and problems, and they can work them through, you know, climbing does that.
Last week I had my daughter here helping me out every day at dough.
Oh,
and
yes,
she was flowering every...
She was covered in flour. She's a tough little girl, man.
She's a tough girl. When I went to college, I had time to kind of reflect on where I came from. And then I started really appreciating how good of a thing that I grew up in, and like that the world doesn't really offer a lot more than that.
Okay.
This place was unique, and you know, just because I was so sucked into it for so long and didn't have time to step back. It's hard to realize that stuff until you walk away and you go, wow, yeah, this is like a community that like truly cares about me, and I care about them, and they've always been there. Once I realized that, as soon as I could get back, I did.
Cool. So I'm going. We're going? I might have you scooch a little bit closer to the mic, actually. Just like, it just sounds less echoey. All any of us want is for someone to listen to our story. I produce a podcast called For the Love of Climbing. It's not a climbing podcast. It's people's personal stories seen through the lens of climbing, but it's about so much more. So, you know, we're just gonna go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off here and, you know, get to it. I wanted to tackle this very complex topic of intersectionality, of race and diversity in climbing. You are one of 2 regularly seen Black climbers in Stone Summit in Atlanta. They said, quote unquote, the Black guy with the dreads, which I'm guessing you probably get fairly often.
Yeah. The first 2 to 3 years, I was pretty much the only Black person that was climbing in the gym. Especially in the Southeast, I was, for the longest time, the only Black person that you would see getting outside consistently. It can feel a bit alienating at times. It's not the first time that I've really felt really isolated in that sense. You're not going to feel welcome in a certain community if you don't see people who look like you within that community. I don't know, I think there's got to be like a major shift.
I want you to recognize how much you're helping change and challenge things like, you know, bigotry and these bigger social stereotypes within our climbing community. We're just trying to bridge that empathy gap, I guess, you know? Because that's what climbing's about. It's about showing up for other people. And I don't know, you can't show up for other people until you give a shit. I grew up in a family where we didn't express our emotions. And if there was a problem, you just didn't talk about it. And I think a lot of that has carried over into the work that I do now. I see the importance of not sweeping things under the rug.
There's a reason that people have psychotic breaks.
When you lose somebody, nobody prepares you how to mourn.
It's not getting any easier.
You think that it will? I do. I want you to like emotionally go.
I'm an Indian woman. They think I'm going to be a weak link.
We can all be transparent depressed
about our stories, that we really can have social impact.
As climbers, we focus on being hard and strong, and I don't know, I want people to see that being strong and vulnerable are one and the same.
2008年ですね。まあデナリという大きな山があって、その周辺に通ってて。で2008年にいよいよ何か大きなことをしたいなという時にですね、誰もやったことで多分考えたことさえなかったんだけど、アイシスフェイスとスロバクダイレクトっていうのは、まあここデナリのサウスフェイスのここをダイレクトに登ってくんだけど、 クライミングってアラスカグレード1から6まで分けられてて、両方ともアラスカグレード6です。2本ともね。僕は変な顔してますけど、これがユースケで、ここにいるのがイッチーですね。で後ろにいるのが達郎というと、で彼らは違うところをトライしに行ったんですね。だけど僕たちが頂上に8日間かけて頂上立って降りてきて、デナリのこの2008年の時は、そうさっき話続きなんだけど、実際にクライミング行って8日間かかりました。そのクライミング自体すごくハードだったし、途中で僕がスノーブラインドになってしまって、3人で登っていて、僕はもう3番目にもうずっと回りました。でそこからいわゆるクラックセクション、難しいとこ始まったんだけど、で上がってったら案の定一人が「ちょっと降りようか」と「お前の目が悪いから」X っていわゆるグレードの上に後ろに X って言って、すごい落ちたら死んじゃうよっていうようなところを、自分たちを取り巻くかもしれないいろんな状況を考えなきゃいけないんだけど、それを考えてもなお、冷静に考えてもなお、やっぱり2人のパートナーがすごく信頼できるから。彼はすごく頼りになったから、僕は目が見えなくなっても上まで登りに行くことができたし、こうやってデナリって大きな山で仲間っての大事さっていうのをすごくこの時感じました。達郎というと、彼らが降りてきてないことを知って、それで待っても待っても帰ってこなくて、で結局彼らは帰ってきませんでした。
We first of all just want to thank everybody for coming out on such a cold day. You're all awesome. What we'll do here is we're going to divide in a minute, and those who are here to help out with the trail work, we're going to have you guys see the Access Fund and Lindsay, and then those that are going to be doing rebolting, me and Brent will be doing that. We're going to go and remove some bolts that are antiquated from like the 80s and 90s that have started to rust and that could become a liability, or in worst case scenario, it could mean somebody's life if those anchors fail.
Being a young person in the future generation of climbers, I think it's highly important for people my age and younger or older to continue to seek the value and why stewardship is important in the community.
This presentation is on Gym to Crag. I say it's a lesson for the new and a reminder for the experienced. Most of you mentioned wanting to start climbing outside, which is awesome. And that's why I'm here, because I want you to enjoy climbing outside.
I've heard people say it's great to see more money being put into climbing. It's good for the industry. More people are being exposed to it. But is it good for the places we climb?
Good.
I don't know. Climbing's got to get more responsible. Right now people are, oh God, I love climbing. I just want to go all the time. But what am I going to do with my climbing? What am I going to do to give back to climbing, to the people who climb, to my community of climbers? There's plenty of opportunities. There's no shortage of opportunities to go out and do advocacy work, actual work.
So I don't want a second Fontainebleau. I don't want a white forest.
You know, we call that French. Those are French flowers.
I don't want these French flowers here. So I have to make really round and clean everything up. The toilet is clean. Nobody has shit in. The whole weekend, nobody shit in. I don't understand. They shit everywhere, not in the toilet. But whatever. Oh shit! I see something bad now. This is important for the French flowers. You don't want to pam. And then we have a white flower. Oh, yeah. We put it here. I give it to my grandma, I think. On a special day. Come with me.
Can you tell us what is going to happen today?
Yes, I can tell because at 12 o'clock the mayor is coming. I really want that she thinks, okay, wow, this project is now part of her city. And around this I thought of doing my most favorite thing. One of my most favorite thing, to place this memory stone. So I have to finish a little bit, but it's not much, and then I will carry it up and place it. Oh! Good to see you.
We don't want to disturb you. Hallo, grüß Sie. Dann sprechen wir Englisch. Mein Englisch ist nur nicht so gut.
Ja,
My English
manche auch
is
nicht.
not so perfect. I'm
Ja.
sorry.
Thank you.
This is very beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, this is so beautiful.
He is written for Pelle and Peter. So Peter was my big friend. And that was a big tragedy when he died. I have explained to you that we, like climbers, do often very dangerous things. So Peter and me, we did a lot of free solo together, but we didn't die. Yeah, that is 25 years ago. And suddenly, when he was 44, he walked to a rock in South Africa, and on the way to the rock, he fell.
No.
Yeah, 20 meters down.
Oh,
so that was a really tragedy. And so I was really sad about it. And I figured out to make this pigeon for him. The connection between the dad and the, yeah.
How many years are you working here now? Like
For 11 years.
For 11 years.
Yes. Here in
Here
Avalonia.
in Avalonia?
Yeah, for
Oh, I didn't know that.
Since 2008. Yeah, I did it in an artistic way.
I
Yeah,
know,
you know.
I know. Yeah, but you did a great job. Very great job. And I think we can be very proud of your work here because it makes the landscape even more beautiful.
Thank you.
And with meaning and yeah, something very special here in our city.
もともとはですね、写真は、まあ、今これエクスペディションに持ってった写真が全部ここに入ってるんだけど、僕の妻千尋が僕に持たせるんですよ。ね、で僕はもともと別に持っていくつもりなかった、最初はね。 なぜかというと、思い出してちょっとこう家が恋しくなったり家族が恋しくなったりしたら、やっぱり山に支障をきたすというか、これ家を出て成田の空港でこれを見ちゃうとちょっとうるっとしちゃうんです。まあこのベースキャンプで写真を見ると、まあ決して帰りたいなとホームシックみたいなことには今まで一度もなったことなくて、むしろやっぱりなんか見て思い出して、子供たちにねこんな変な顔してる写真とか見て、なんかもう自分も楽しくなって、よし頑張るぞと、ちゃんと元気に帰って山降りて日本に帰るぞっていう気持ちにさせてくれる。
I like the act of sitting down and taping up. I think it's very meditative, you know. Plus, it makes you feel like you're prepping for battle. Mine not hot. I got everything in an anchor kit.
I'm locked and loaded.
Yeah. Go. See you.
Do it.
The podcast was about 4 episodes in before my entire life changed completely. I was sexually assaulted, and because of that, I have spent the last year of my life trying to unpack it and running away.
So scary, you can take it. Damn, so hard.
I couldn't deal with my grief for a really long time. And instead, I was trying to find some sort of healing through other people's grief and loss.
Come on, that's it. I don't have the energy.
There was something about taking all of the stories that I had been listening to and recording and creating something from a really painful place, if that makes any sense. A lot of what I have been personally going through has affected pretty much every corner of my life.
I figured out the finish. That feels so good. That doesn't feel good. That one feels better. Okay, I'm in. You can take. Hey!
Nice.
Thanks.
How does that feel?
That feels so good. That felt so much better. You said you'll have it.
Fun fact, I think I just got my period up there.
Fun fact.
So, you know. Did you start carrying it because I told you to? Shut up. You're awesome.
Shall we go rock climbing?
Yeah.
You got everything you need?
Yeah.
You gonna be warm enough?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's go.
All right, Peter, let's go.
Ah.
Save the rock climbing for the rock.
Ah, man.
Cedar, like me, grew up. I mean, she's 8 years old and she's been around climbers since day one. I mean, she's like fully submerged in that world. I'm not that crazy parent that's pushing their kid to rock climber. You know, I want her to grow up around these people because I think they're good people for her to learn her life.
Kimbo?
This one.
Yep. I know. Yep. Nice work. That's really beautiful.
That's how I used to do it.
Oh, style points. When she was about 1, she had, you know, like any kid, newborn has trouble sleeping, right? But it was like, it was getting bad. You know, it was like, man, there was no colic and there was none of this other stuff. Yeah. They started figuring out that, you know, there was something wrong, you know, and finally they were able to diagnose it was this rare liver disease called PFIC2, which I think at the time there was like 50 kids with this genetic disorder in the world. It was getting rough. And then we realized that her liver was pretty much just failing. And she had, you know, 3 to 4 years before her liver would give out on her. She had to go back to the hospital to get on a liver list.
きちんと説明するのは難しいんですけど、多分昔は20代は若くてあんまり一応リスクについて考えてはいたけど、多分あんまりそんなシリアスに考えてなかった。やっぱりその自然の巨大さ、偉大さ、まあもちろん美しさで、まあ恐ろしさ、そういうのをすごく心の底から感じた、まあ経験でした。それからまあ30代に入って結婚して子供ができてっていう中で、周りでいろんな人が死んでいった。山に対する恐怖だとか、自分はここで死にたくないみたいなような恐怖プラス責任感みたいなもんですかね。どんどん大きくなって。いろいろなクライミングをやる中でいろんなリスクと向き合って、いつもやってなんだもちろん減らす努力はするけども、絶対にゼロにはならない。やりたい山ってのいっぱいある。家族との兼ね合いとかいろんな年齢との兼ね合いとかいろいろあるんだけど、
have not many nice hours in my life. The mayor, she don't know this about my past. Feels me good to see that she's now proud of my work. That is important. I'm a freak, you know. I had really hard times in Germany. For the really saying you, they put me for 7 years into psychiatry. They put me into these darkest rooms of Germany. You can't leave this type of psychiatry, this darkest hole. The German said that I'm ill. They put me into this sort of prisons. I was in 15 ugly places. So I had really hard times. It's a long time ago, after the death of my father. And so I had hard time to switch my life and to show that I'm not this ill, that I'm not this man what they're telling me. I can't say all these things briefly, you know. I didn't want to say it in front of camera, but it's good that the world knows that it's not only happy. Yeah. And now we run.
I'm not close with my family, and so when I started climbing, that was this wonderful, weird, makeshift family, and it just grew and grew over the years. And for me, for where I'm at right now, I feel like I've lost it a little bit, and so it's hard for me to speak about the climbing community as a whole right now because it's just changed for me so much, and I don't know.
So I'm walking with Peter. It's beautiful to walk with Peter, huh?
Have you ever heard someone refer to a sport or something saving their life? Because I feel like that's what climbing is. Mental illness kind of runs in our family on both sides. As I was entering high school, I was struggling with depression.
It was like a perfect winter day. And I had fallen going to the anchors, and I just something screwed up, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that next go. I definitely got this. And then I had got the call. They had found a liver for Cedar. Sprinted out of there and didn't even pick up my climbing gear.
Oh, yeah. No.
And then we went into a 23-hour surgery. And she flatlined 3 times. It was really sketchy. The community support for our daughter was mind-blowing. Climbers bought us food at the hospital the entire time, and it was a different set of climbers every day for months. We had multiple climbers and people we knew that were willing to be living donors for her, and it was just it was so humbling.
I've gone through these, you go through waves through life, and through those low times, climbing was there for me.
Come on, get the heel, get the heel. Yeah, come on. He was my friend who, when I was in deepest hole, he stand by my side. He never said, no, you're not my friend anymore. There are not many people making this time with you. You understand, maybe?
There were a lot of inappropriate or disappointing reactions. I mean, I think ultimately I just needed the community to hold space, you know, and lean in and just sit with me.
But I have the letter before he died that he asked me if we want to do boulder areas together, because he didn't want to work like an engineer anymore. And sometimes he's thinking of making boulder areas with me. And I have written him, yeah, come Peter, we're making no boulder areas together. But then he died.
I've always seen myself as a very hopeful person, and I suddenly had none. And when you run out of hope, you either have to dig really deep or you don't, you know? So I dug deep. And then come back in and kind of do a sit-up, and then sit up into this kind of crimp on the wall. And then that's where I couldn't find the rest. I did eventually, but you kind of just like twist your legs in that little like hole, and then slot the hand here, slot a good jam here, clip the 4, and then fist after the 4, slide this in here, and then bring your whole body around, and that's when you kick your feet up in. Everything that I've gone through, not just this past year, but my whole life, it's helped my climbing tremendously. When it gets hard on a climb, I just go back in my head and I'm like, you got through all of this shit. This is nothing. Yes. I got the rest. My entire life, I would never describe myself as a fighter, but the minute I started climbing, 1000%. I was the only one who had the power to make that happen. Pulling it all from within.
You know, all these things I'm doing, it's therapy. Don't think about the bad. Just take a new path.
I think climbing has provided a lot of guidance, allowing me to open up or feel okay being different. At a young age, you're not taught, you're not given any healthy ways of coping, you know?
I have something. I have a lifestyle. And I think a lot of kids are like struggling to figure out what they want to do.
クライミングと出会ったからこそ今の自分があるっていうのは本当に強く思います。今の家族と一緒にここで暮らせるというのはやっぱりクライミングというものがあったから、垣間見ることができて。
If you're a very serious climber, that's great, but also think about the ways that you can give back.
I've grown up in this community and I've been part of it my whole life, and it was like the one time when I really needed it, and people just like, it was insane. So many people were there for us. At like the hardest time of my life, people just stood up and were like, hey, Dario's daughter is sick, let's help him out.
And so I'm quite proud now that I may be seen like an artist, not like an ill person. And I can be here like a human being.
The same way that creating has been really healing for me, climbing has been so healing for me, and I feel really lucky for that. We talk a lot about how we want to make our climbing community better and stronger every day. But I feel like one way you can make it better is by listening.
You gotta find something you gotta do with your life. It's not just about you, it's what you do for basically other people. If everybody's doing for others, then everybody's doing for themselves, basically, you know.
Climbing isn't always the answer. Kind of leads them into like finding an answer, you know.
Start again, you know? Very simple.
When I think about the soul of climbing and what it could look like, it can change in the brightest and most beautiful ways, and it's not just for you or for me, you know? It's for everybody.
I think it's just like the nature of being upside down too. You just, I get a little earthy, I guess. It's fine, I'm fine.
So you better come down here and come down and eat my pizza and support me while I'm here. Otherwise, I'm going to be starving to death. And you'll be probably eating my goats.
Because they are NSAID. I'm trying it! It was...
This is the way it always works. Dad wins before he goes to bed.
No.
One of the two.
Yes.
Wow, you go. Yeah, yeah.